Hi, and welcome to another presentation from your business tutor. Learning your way, anytime, anywhere. Who's Ray Kroc? If you don't know the answer to that question, then this presentation is for you. Because Ray Kroc is the grandfather of franchising, and this presentation is on that topic. So what will we learn today? Well, first of all, we're going to find out what a franchise is. After that, we're then going to explore the advantages and disadvantages of franchising. Let's start with a strange question. What do McDonald's, Burger King and Pizza Hut have in common? And it isn't fast food. Not sure? Well, the answer is they've all grown their businesses by franchising their business. So what is franchising? Franchising is when a franchisor sells the right to a franchisee to use their business name and products. So an example of this would be McDonald's, who we would call the franchisor. Now they've set up a business model where potential business people or entrepreneurs can approach them and buy a franchise. And what that means is they can purchase the right to set up a McDonald's using the brand name, using McDonald's products, and that entrepreneur is called the franchisee. So what are the advantages to a franchisor like McDonald's of franchising their business? Well, first of all, it's a really low cost way of growing your business. If you were to grow your business yourself, you would have to pay for it. But in a franchise model, the cost of growing your business is passed from the franchisor, McDonald's, onto the franchisee. The franchisee has to pay for the building. The franchisee has to pay for all the equipment in the store. So what you're doing is you're passing the cost of growing your business onto the franchisee. So a second advantage to the franchisor is increased brand awareness. If you have franchisees setting up businesses, not just in your own country, but in other countries, just like McDonald's, then your business name becomes increasingly known everywhere. It raises your brand awareness. And a third advantage of being a franchisor is that the franchisee has to pay a startup fee when they purchase the franchise. Now, a fourth advantage of being a franchisor is the franchisee has to make yearly royalty payments. Now these are for continued use of the brand name, the products and all the systems that are put in place to make the franchise work. A fifth advantage of being a franchisor is that entrepreneurs have contacted you wanting to start their own franchise. These people are motivated, they're determined to be successful. And as a consequence, they're going to work really hard. They're going to really want their franchise to be successful. And that's a big advantage for your business. Because one, it's going to help you grow it, but also it's going to help you grow your business successfully. So let's turn to the second question and look at the disadvantages to a franchisor of franchising their business. Well, first of all, there can be the problem of franchisees that aren't very well run. And that means if you have a franchise business that isn't very clean or isn't providing great service, then that doesn't just affect the reputation of that franchise, it affects the reputation of the whole brand. The second disadvantage is the franchisor has to spend money actually designing the franchise model. People will only want to buy into a franchise if they think it has a realistic chance of being successful. And that's very much determined by the model that is designed by the franchisor. And to make it effective, they're clearly going to have to spend time, energy, making sure that all the systems work efficiently. And a third disadvantage of being a franchisor is you're going to have to spend money on training and supporting your franchisees, especially when they first begin, so that their businesses run smoothly, so that they're effective, and so they create a positive reputation for your business. So what are the advantages to a franchisee of purchasing a franchise? Well, first of all, you're getting a ready-made business. You're getting a business that has a proven track record. You're buying a franchise model that has all the systems already in place. You're getting a business with a fantastic brand reputation. So on day one, your business will be ready to go. It'll have customers wanting to come to your business. Now that wouldn't be the case if you were starting a business from scratch. And a second advantage of being a franchisee is the help and advice that you receive from the franchisor. It's in the interest of the franchisor to make sure you do a good job, because that positively affects their reputation. So as a consequence, they provide you with extensive training in how the business works and all the processes you have to use to make sure the business runs efficiently and so that you can make profit and be successful. So a third advantage of being a franchisee is you benefit from the franchisor's marketing support. If you were to start your own business, you probably wouldn't be able to afford much advertising. And if you could, it would probably only be in local newspapers or local magazines. But as a franchisee, you can benefit from the franchisor's national and international marketing support. They advertise on television. They sponsor major sporting events like the World Cup and the Olympics. And as a small franchisee, you can benefit from all that publicity around your business. So what are the disadvantages to a franchisee of setting up a franchise? Well, first of all, there's that big setup fee. If you want to purchase the right to buy a franchise, you're going to have to pay a big upfront fee. And on top of that, you have ongoing royalty payments that you have to make for continued use of the brand name, products and the systems that the franchisor has put in place. Another potential expense that the franchisee can encounter is when the franchisor insists that all stores or all shops within the franchise must be updated because they're changing the brand image. Now this doesn't happen very often, but within an organisation like McDonald's, every so often they will insist that all their restaurants are updated and modernised, and this cost is incurred by the franchisee. And a fourth disadvantage of being a franchisee is the rules and regulations that the franchisor puts in place. This therefore restricts what you can do with your business, how you move it forwards, because you always have to operate within those rules and regulations. So what did we learn in today's presentation? Well, first of all, we found out what a franchise is. And after that, we identified the advantages and disadvantages of franchising. So let's return to Ray Kroc, who I said was the grandfather of franchising. Now that's not because he invented franchising, but because he saw the potential of franchising in the late 1950s. Up until that point, businesses that had used franchising had very few franchises and didn't really do it effectively. Yes, they sold the right to use the brand name, but the business that bought the brand name weren't really consistent with the original business. Now Ray Kroc could see how this affected the business's reputation, and that's why when he did it with McDonald's, he insisted that every franchise was set up in the exact same way, offering the exact same products to the highest of standards.